Listen, we came down from the wilds of North Georgia just to hear you tonight. We did. We too. It's Wayne and Art just saying, hey, we're going to come into comedy concert. And we're like, and so I'm looking on the website, I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going to be there Friday night. Hello.
It's up to you. Yeah, or you can just go with it. Yeah.
Listen, I want you to know. I did. Those are not old. It's so much. That's exactly what I'm telling you. This is our she just got some weight.
Shabbat Shalom, friends. Please take your seats. Just make sure those phones are on silent.
Shabbat Shalom. So good to see everyone here joining us in the room. Hello, Shabbat Shalom to everybody who's online. Whether you are a regular at CBH or perhaps this is your first time here, we are so thrilled that you could join us for this musically infused Kabbalat Shabbat service. My name is Shana Cohen, and I'm here with Ariella Friedman and Amy Robertson. Together we are the Mamalehs. And we are joined by the CBH Music and Chorus Director, Will Robertson. And with special musical guests, Brad Davidorf, Bill Witherspoon, Sarah Zasloff, and Henry Farber. And running the show over there are Abby Garcia and Steve Osheroff. So in just a minute, we're going to dive into our service. But before we get going, let's take a moment and feel the love and turn to our neighbors and greet one another with Shabbat Shalom and hello after a long week. So our service tonight is inspired by this week's Torah portion, which is Parshat Kedoshim. And in Kedoshim, God commands the Israelites, via Moses, of course, to be holy. And God gives many specific mitzvot, commandments, to fulfill this mandate of holiness, including the mitzvah to honor one's parents, to leave the gleanings of your crops in the fields for the poor, not to place a stumbling block before the blind, or to speak ill of those who can't hear, but most all-encompassingly, to love one's neighbor as we love ourselves. And woven throughout these and many more mitzvot is the refrain, "Be holy, for I, your God, am holy." As elsewhere in the Torah, the message here seems to be that the way to emulate the divine and to bring holiness into the world is just to treat one another with compassion and fairness and generosity, which makes perfect sense, right? But as we all know, it can be kind of hard to hold on to these qualities in our day-to-day interactions, or in all of our day-to-day interactions. We definitely do our best, but sometimes anxiety and stress can test our innate desire to behave in loving and kind ways. So we walk around feeling disconnected, even isolated, until something of that divine light can break through the fog and restore our wholeness to us. To paraphrase the author Mark Horn, only when our anxiety is surrounded by the divine light will we allow the small cup of our egos to rest in the larger cup of the source. I just love that phrase. And the mystics of Tzfat, who designed the Kabbalat Shabbat service, understood this. They understood this deep need that we have to rest into the cup of the source. So they created a conveyor belt of prayers that would move us from our small and tight and tapped out selves into this spacious sanctuary of interconnectedness. They understood that the majesty of nature can help us reclaim those expansive divine souls that we came into the world with. And they understood that those souls are capable of an immense love, a love that can heal the wounds that keep us locked in, divided, afraid. So tonight we're inviting you to give yourself time to sink into these prayers and listen to the wind. This is what the Kabbalists intended. Let's explore the potential of these prayers to rouse us from our destructive trance of separation. And take your time in this process. Shabbat is about being, not doing. So it doesn't have to happen all at once. You can let things unfold at the pace your body wants to go. And if the words we're singing help undo some of those inner knots, great. And if not, feel free to let them go and just hum or sing on your own syllables or just keep the rhythm. And we ourselves will be doing a lot of yada-dying and oohing that you are welcome to follow along with. So throughout our collective intention, may we channel holiness into the world and serve the cause of healing for ourselves, for one another, and for all the earth. Ken Yehi. And now I would like to call up Elena Friedman Hall and Levy and Noah Robertson to help us light the Shabbat candles.
So the words to our next prayer are Higalena. It is found within the prayer Yedid Nefesh in your prayer book. The Hebrew is on page 7, the transliteration is on page 9. It's the very last stanza. We're just going to repeat the first line over and over again. Higalena means reveal yourself. So for all the mystical things we imagine happen when Shabbat comes to us, we imagine Shekhinah comes down to us, we imagine we get a second soul. This is really a beckoning for that magic to start.
Su work with me on this, but I find holiness in mashups. I looked up the definition of mashup, and Google said, a mashup is a mixture or fusion of disparate elements. To me, this is the space where two very different entities come together and form something new at their intersection, like a sushi burrito or a cronut. That's a croissant combined with a donut, if you're unfamiliar with that. I think they have them at Pond City Market. Each one of these things is great on their own, but there's actually a special kind of magic in the places where they intersect and it actually works. Kind of like a trio or a congregation of people singing together. I think there's extra holiness in the space where ideas connect, where music connects, and most importantly, the space where people connect. So tonight we're going to do a mashup together, and it starts with an Arabic pop song called Assalamu Alaikum. So that's pretty much the words you need to know, so repeat after me, Assalamu Alaikum. Assalamu Alaikum. And then the next words are Alaikum Ya. Alaikum Ya. You got it. So we did this a few years ago at Shabbat Shirah. Some of you may remember it. We're going to start with some yai-dai-dais so everyone can get the melody. And then we're going to add those words in together. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum ya. And then you'll hear the new song come in partway through to create the mashup. And I think you'll be familiar with that one. So please sing with us.
So our next prayer is a psalm. It's called Lachuna Ranana, which means let us sing joyfully to the Lord. There's actually a verb in Hebrew that means to sing joyfully. You don't have to add any kind of adverb to it. And it raises the perpetual question, I think, that comes up in my Jewish life. Can you make yourself do something joyfully? Like, can you have to feel joy when you do it? When the Israelites were crossing the Red Sea, there's, in the text, the tenses are a little funny. It says, they will sing, but it also has then, as though it were in the past. And so the rabbis liked to debate, when exactly did they sing? Did they sing after the miracle? Did they sing when it seemed pretty clear the miracle was like started, but maybe not totally done yet? Or did they sing before it started? And so there's one rabbi from the 18th century, at least one, Levi Yitzhak of Berdichev, who says they sang before it started because their faith was so strong that it was going to happen, that they could sing with joy before it happened. A few hundred years later, a rabbi in the Warsaw Ghetto named Rabbi Shapira said, yes, okay, faith, but when you're in these really bad situations, it feels a little more like prophecy. Like it reaches the level of prophecy to hold on to hope in these moments. And so when we sing before the miracle, it's an act of prophecy. Joy is an act of resistance, right? But there's one more piece. You can't really prophecy without at least a little smidgen of joy. Like just a little bit. Like activation seed energy. And so if you don't have the activation seed energy, he says, you borrow someone else's. And that's enough to start the prophecy in you. So the invitation for this psalm is just really scrape. Maybe you're feeling a lot of joy, and that's fantastic. Put it in the room. And if you're scraping the edges a little bit after the week we've had as a nation, scrape and put it in the room. And we'll create this like library of joy that we can all pull from and see what prophecy we can find. The words to Lachuna Ranana are on page 21.
Lechune ranena, l'Adonai, nariach, litzor yishenu, mikadem avana, betodah. Rabbi Shefa Gold encourage us to see this next prayer, which speaks of light beams that are seated for the righteous, as a chance to reflect on a moment that stands out to you for its joy, or its clarity, or its wisdom. And she asks us to reflect on what illusions might have been stripped away in that moment, and what emotion in that moment prevailed. Was it joy or fear? Was it anger or a sense of great peace? And most importantly, she wants us to see if we can take those moments that happen in our lives and plant them like seeds and nourish them with our attention and our intention so that we can stay more present with this light more of the time.
The words are found on page 31. Prayer Nagibor comes from Anabakoach, which is a meditation or a poem. It's not a song like many of the things we have been singing. And it's from the mystical tradition. And I was very surprised to see that it's not in the Reconstructionist Siddur. We are maybe a bunch of rationalists. We don't have these mystical things in our Siddur. But I want to tell you two different things about the prayer. One of them is, while so much of what we've had in the service so far has been this sort of beseeching for something in the cosmos to come and meet us, come for Shabbat and change the reality and make it Shabbat, Nagibor sort of turns inward and is more like, well, are you ready for Shabbat? Have you gotten your own house in order? Shana used the phrase before, and I don't know if it was intentional, untie your knots.
It was.
And it was intentional. It comes from this very prayer, Anabakoach, untie my tell you 2 things about Nagibor, and I realized I only told you 1. So here's the other thing. Like all good mystical poems, there's a secret in it. It's 42 words, and there is a tradition that the first letter of each word taken all together creates the truly unpronounceable name of the divine. Like we say there's a 4-letter name that you're not supposed to pronounce, but too many people try. So now we have a 42-letter name that you actually can't pronounce, but you can say the prayer, and it's like calling down God.
Are you going to say something similar about the next song?
No. Okay, well, I will tell you.
That's a good one.
This is not a very spiritual thought, but it's very funny. So the next prayer is L'Chadodi, which you'll find on page 41. And I read today that this is also an acrostic. And do you know what it spells out? The name of the author. For real! It spells the name of the author. I just think that's very, very funny. But it's a beautiful version that we're doing. It is a new version. I think we have done it before here at CBH, but maybe not too many times.
A couple times.
By Josh Warshawski.
That would be a long acrostic. That's even longer than the 9 verses of L'Chadodi.
Even longer than the 9 verses of L'Chadodi. We are joined in this by Bill and Brad, who've been singing along with us all along, but will sing especially much in this one. Is there anything else I was supposed to say?
No, I was mostly excited about the acrostic, and your text about that today made my day.
Yeah.
So thank you. I just wanted everyone else to know that.
That was not the spiritual need I was searching for, but it was entertaining.
It keeps it real.
You brought joy.
Yeah.
Yes, it did bring me some joy. So, L'Chadodi is on page 41.
And we'll do verses 1, 5, 8, and 9.
Yes.
So be sure you follow.
Rearrange that and see what that
That's
spells.
right.
Yeah.
1985. We've got to get back in here, 1985.
L'Chadodi, Likrat Kala, Lene Shabbat, Kabbalah. L'Chadodi, Likrat Kala, Lene Shabbat, Kabbalah. L'Chadodi, Likrat Kala, Lene Shabbat, Kabbalah. L'Chadodi, Likrat Kala, Lene Shabbat, Kabbalah.
Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, yishmi'anu el hamecha. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'letiferet v'leitina.
L'Chadodi, Likrat Kala, Lene Shabbat, Kabbalah. L'Chadodi, Likrat Kala, Lene Shabbat, Kabbalah.
Please rise.
The words of this next chant, part of the words of this next chant, V'ahavta l'orecha kamocha, are found in this week's Torah portion, and they distill its very essence. There are so many ways, large and small, that we can love one another, and thus enlarge the share of this world's holiness. So as we chant Hareini, we invite you to concentrate on something that perhaps you've been meaning to do for someone this week, but maybe haven't gotten around to it yet. Could this be the week that you are ready to reach out and make that connection? Hareini.
there was an ending to Lechato D that your accompanist missed. It was really cool. And I've wondered if, liturgically, if we could go just a little bit back, like the last chorus of Lechato D.
Especially if it would bring us a lot of joy.
I think it would put joy in the bucket.
Maybe a little piece.
Maybe a little, what's that?
Maybe a little piece.
Little piece,
Yeah,
little
some
piece,
joy,
yeah.
yeah.
Bring in the angels a little bit. Let's cast our memory back to the last chorus of Lechato D, and we'll just start there and pretend that, this never happened, or it happened in a different way. Yeah, something like that. Beautiful and totally intentional.
That's part of being Reconstructionist.
That's
We
right.
can take songs apart and put them back together and I think that's all kosher.
Within like the first 10 pages of the Talmud, it says, where there is song, there is prayer. And that just gives me all kinds of license to do all kinds of
We knew that somewhere in you you're not a rule follower.
The Talmud said I could do it.
It's a rule.
So we are about to switch gears and come into the space of the Mishaberach. And so this is an opportunity to say aloud the name of anyone that you wish to include for healing, or if you are online, to put them in the chat. So please go ahead and say those names now. And we also include the following people from our community: Marta Inez Castillejo, Tanya Eden, Alan Sugar, Lang Marsh, Sharon Miller, Jerry Falcon, Bob Schwartz, Hillary Bauer, Roseanne Glick, Ronnie Carlin, Loretta Noon, Bob Noon, Esther Myers, Aya Iwatani Weinroth, Tracy Stern Cox, Richard Adler, Richard Cohen, Jenny Williams Cohen, Lois Birch, Beth Ann Beautycant, Sharon Miller, Rosalie Levy, Pepe Lurie, Naya Brown, Mona Lisa Schultz, Linda Staples, Sarah Kablak, Darcy Sabat, Amy Kraft, Naomi Stauber, Carla Caraballo, Sarah Griscom, Margie Ashraf, Lee Corfin, Talia Bakihudit, Jesse Drahan, Jamie Robertson, Rabbi Malka Packer-Monroe, Diane Dexter, Annette Spiegel, Abraham Bosanek, and Jeannie Heinzen.
This is column response.
Continuing on to the Mourner's Kaddish, page 131. For those who are in a period of ritual mourning, we invite you to rise in body or spirit and say the names out loud of those you are remembering, or if you are online, to put them in the chat. Zichronam Levracha. May their memories be for a blessing. At CBH, it's our minhag for the congregation to rise in solidarity with the mourners at the Amen. Yitkadal v'yitkadash me'rabah. V'yamlad divrach l'otei, v'yamlich machotei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei rabba v'barach v'olam v'nayel v'ayel. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitruman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei t'bishar b'reichu. Ve'ela minko berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram v'yalma v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlava rabba min shemaya, v'charim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, u'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yakol yoshvei tevel v'yimru Amen.
Rebecca Staplex, can I invite you up to lead us in the prayer for the end of hiding? Surprise! That's what happens when you sit towards the front. This can be found in the back of your prayer book.
I don't wanna block anybody. If you don't know, it's in the back of your Siddur, and I'm gonna just read what is said. As LGBTQ Jews,
We are aware of the loss of integrity we suffer due to the pressures of larger society. We often feel forced into a dishonest presentation of ourselves to ourselves and others. The LGBTQ individuals who feel they must pretend to be something that they are not. Jews who feel they must be alienated from their tradition and community to win larger acceptance. Both are victims of theft of identity and integrity committed by the sexual majority. Creator of the universe, we ask that our fight be brought to an end, and that we no longer feel we have to pretend, to promise falsely, to renounce ourselves, and that our fullest creative expression as Jews and as lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, and queer people be beyond the blessings you bestow upon us. Amen.
especially this week.
So today marks, thank you, Rebecca. Today marks the 21st day of the Omer. So we will say the blessing, and Amy is the official page caller outer. I don't want to step on your turf. Okay, it's page 675.
Gracious, you knew it, but 675.
But first we have to do a little numerology, because Amy did a soupçon of numerology. So the 21st letter of the Hebrew alphabet, does anybody know it off the top of their head?
Beit Aleph.
Beit Aleph? It's Shin.
Oh.
That's 2 letters, right? That was 2 letters. It's a different counting system. So Shin is the 21st letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and Shin is characterized by 3 downward parallel lines. So there's a midrash on the letter Shin that it actually represents our 3 Jewish forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham, known for his hospitality and compassion, is characterized by the midah of loving kindness, or chesed, and Kabbalistically, week 1 of the Omer is associated with this midah. Isaac is known more for his intensive study and his inner focus, and that is a quality of discipline, or gevurah, that we try to emulate during the 2nd week of the Omer. Jacob, during the course of his long and interesting life, came to eventually embody both of these qualities. And so he represents the quality of tiferet, or balance, or beauty. The 21st day of the Omer is associated with malchut shebetiferet, dignity within balance, or dignity within beauty. So can we, like Jacob, learn to skillfully balance our abundant, overflowing compassion with healthy habits and boundaries, so that we too might create a life of balance and beauty. Amen. 675. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sirat ha'omer hayom echad ve'esrim yom shehem shlusha shavuot la'omer. Today is the 21st day, marking 3 weeks of the Omer. Announcements.
Yeah, Margie Osheroff, come on down.
You play The Price is Right games on while you.
Well, now I have to hand her the page, but maybe after that.
I'm standing in for Marcy Alt, who is, of course, the amazing announcer.
Announcement of Maven.
Yes, she is. So wherever you are, Marcy, good job. So Shabbat Shalom. I'm Marguerite Oshraf, a longtime member here. I want to welcome all of you and all those who are Behavari members and those who are guests. Please join us for the exciting upcoming events. Entry point safety training for members. It'll be Wednesday, May 11th at 7 p.m. on Zoom.
Sign up.
Sign up now. Engagement, it's safety training, security and safety while we're here.
See you there.
Margie, we have those on paper if you want to read them instead of your phone.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, maybe that because aging eyes and all. So, anyway, that's Wednesday, May 11th at 7 p.m. on Zoom, and there's information online for that to register. CBH is co-sponsoring a La Belle Mer celebration at Lake Claire Land Trust on Wednesday, May 18th at 7:30. Upcoming Shabbat offerings include: join us Friday, May 13th at 7:30 p.m. for Shabbat services. Special guest Haggai Nasseri, and who's co-founder of the Afghan American Alliance of Georgia. That should be a very special Shabbat.
It's May 13th.
May 13th at
It's a
7:30.
refugee Shabbat. The chorus will also be singing there.
Oh, yay.
And we'll also be collecting new underwear and socks, all sizes and men's belts.
Okay, we're just gonna make everybody take theirs off right now.
If you don't bring us something, you have to donate what you
So, on Saturday, May 14th at 9:30, join us for the bat mitzvah of Susan Burke. Her second bat mitzvah, and she's got to be a real pro by now, right? Our youngest members are invited to attend Tot Shabbat at 10 a.m. at a local park. Please register on the website for full details. And don't forget these offerings. Start your day with mindful moments, weekdays at 8:45 a.m. on Zoom, and end your day with our 15-minute minyan, Saturdays through Thursdays at 8 p.m., also on Zoom. And join us for lunchtime Torah study every Tuesday at noon on Zoom. Be sure to check your vet mail or CBH website for the latest on all upcoming programs. Please remember to reserve your spot for any in-person event on our website. We're limiting numbers of attendees to keep everyone COVID safe. While online, please sign up for the CBH Briut if you have not done so. Good Shabbos to all. Have a great weekend.
Good
We are coming towards the end of our service, and before we offer our benediction to you, our Jewish benediction, our blessing for your travels, there are so many people that we want to thank. I'm sure that I would leave people out, but we have so much gratitude. First, I just want to say to you for being here and singing with us. I can't tell you how it fills my cup to be in a room full of this sound. Thank you. Special, tremendous gratitude to our Zoom technicians, Abby and Steve. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To Sarah and Henry for adding instruments, and Brad and Bill for adding voices, and Will for adding many, many things, instruments and voices and other things as well. And to Leon, who made all of us sound much better than we would have. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a wonderful oneg after this that is hosted by Amy Lighthill, Lois Wolf, Ryan Rosenberg, Julie Fishman, Elizabeth Geiger, and Kim Goldsmith. So thank you to you as well.
I want to say something I was supposed to say in there.
Okay.
Thank you to all of you for this gorgeous service and just opening our hearts to Shabbat.
So our final words of blessing with which we will send you off are from the book of Deuteronomy. Blessed are you in your coming and in your going, and may it be so.
Blessed are you, blessed are you. Be blessed, may you be blessed. you go forth from this place. Blessed are you, blessed are you, who have may you be blessed, may you be blessed, as you go Ruach atam b'vorecha. Blessed are Ruach atam b'tzeitecha, Ruach atam b'vorecha. May you be Ruach atam b'tzeitecha, Ruach atam b'vorecha. Blessed are Ruach atam b'tzeitecha, Ruach atam b'vorecha. May you be blessed, may you be b'tzeitecha, as you go forth from this place.
Shabbat shalom.
Please join us for Motzi and Kiddush. Amen.
Many times, I think I've already done that.